Because it's the only snack.
That's all I know about the Philippines.
Look, Jollibee. That's a thing
Huh?
that the Philippines and Singapore both have, but the Filipino one is better. Kicking off our lower bracket finals here on Oxide LE. In the bottom left-hand corner, map spawning all the way. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. He's the best player from Hong Kong. He is, of course, unfortunately, going to be representing himself as he's currently teamless. We have the Joey himself, the Triforce of Power, I'm guessing. I mean, Kuro's telling me that Mio is Courage, so I guess EnDerr would be Wisdom then, question mark. We have the Triforce of Power. We have GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player himself, currently teamless. Looking for a team. I'm looking at you, DL Mizzle. Does Mizzle? Look, I'm just saying, Psystorm, EnDerr.
I think it is this Mizzle.
Yeah, it's happened before. I wouldn't be opposed to it happening again.
2016 vibes, you know?
I just
KJ,
said,
you know, he's a lot more active.
yeah, and I just said his name. It is EnDerr.
How crazy is it that Psystorm went from one of the largest foreign teams to basically being inactive and everybody questioning whether or not it was going to come back, to once again being a juggernaut after buying out Exxon.
Yeah, like it is really cool that KJ's passion for StarCraft was reinvigorated last year. I know that before that, in 2019 and most of 2020, he was actually focusing on his company because he does own a company. Like, there's a reason why he's a very successful.
And he owns a company
person.
outside of Psystorm.
Yes, an IT company, I believe. So he was focusing on that more so.
And his company sponsors Psystorm, funnily enough.
It does. I mean, a lot of that did have to do with the fact that Gumiho and True did go to do their military service. So it's like they lost a lot of their presence and stuff, but it's cool to see them back.
It is. And I'm not sure if, you know, KJ was looking, okay, this is the year Gumiho and True come back, so, you know, want to give them a little bit of that, but I mean, he bought out Exxon long before Gumiho came back from the military, so I do like that it's mostly just a passion. It mostly is a passion move coming out from him.
And of course, he wants his team to be successful as well. Speaking of being successful, you know, EnDerr, he's already made it here to at least third place. Can he go further? So far, no incredibly aggressive openers. Both players are going for their third bases. GogojOey being a little bit aggressive here. Speaking of aggressive, EnDerr throwing, GogojOey with 20 lings on the way. Oh my god.
Looks like he's about to finish up. He almost has that hatchery, but not quite. EnDerr, his Baneless is about to finish up, but even then, he would require time to get the banelings out.
Mate, I'm so worried for EnDerr right now. Again, as soon as that baneling nest finishes, he needs to morph in those banelings, but the lings are already coming across the map.
Yeah, I feel like GogojOey can kill the hatchery regardless. Almost snipes the banelings before they hatch, but that is not going to be the case. These queens are actually very much caught out of position, but the banelings are going to finish up. Actually, banelings don't come into play, but two queens go down regardless.
Exactly. The banelings are able to force the lings to go back home, but they already got the value that they wanted. They already got two queens.
Yeah, I'm sure the grand prize is that third base, but two queens for that many lings is still a more than worthwhile trade. Meanwhile, EnDerr go for the counterattack.
Yeah, exactly.
GogojOey does have defenses.
They're both looking to hit each other's third bases. Meanwhile, GogojOey does turn around. He's trying to hit the third base at the same time, but there is enough here to defend. The banelings are rolling on in, and the third base of GogojOey is surrounded. Oh god, oh god. The baneling! Oh no!
It is gonna finish! Right on time. Thankfully, EnDerr was able to maneuver a lot of his lings away from that baneling, but even still, takes a bit of a hit, and it's only 4 lings left. This hatch will stand strong. Can't quite say the same on the other side of the map.
Oh, I mean, so far they're
standing.
Yeah,
strong.
It's not quite. It's in the red, mate. Oh god.
It is. And now these Lynx can snipe Banelings before they make it across the map. Oh no, EnDerr.
Yeah, GogojOey, he's now headed towards that third base. These Banelings are completely out of position, by the way. They are not at the third to cover it. We do have 3 more Banelings being morphed in. Are they going to morph in time? It looks like maybe they will. The Lynx of GogojOey, they want to go for the Queen again.
Oh. And they almost get it, but there are enough Lynx to buy EnDerr some time. Banelings will shut that door for GogojOey.
Exactly, and now both players, they back off, they drone up, they have their third bases.
Which is not where either of them expected to be right now. But, you know, you gotta make do with what you have. I will say, EnDerr is much quicker at taking up. Already producing roaches, GogojOey barely finishing up the roach warren now.
Yeah, exactly, and now EnDerr's the one being the aggressor. He has to be. Come on, no! Oh, no!
I was gonna say he takes a Baneling to the face. He takes 2 of them actually, and that's enough to swing the momentum over to GogojOey's favor. At least for now, these roaches utilizing the choke points really well, making sure they don't get surrounded by the Lynx.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's where EnDerr's attention was. Like, he was busy walling off at his natural, and because of that, his Lynx went down. And now, GogojOey, he wants that third base so badly. He doesn't get it yet, but it gets lower and lower.
It was sort of stepping pretty well, but there are enough defenses here for EnDerr. Not anymore, because his defenses have turned into offenses.
Oh boy, yep, the roaches are coming across the map, but GogojOey, he has his own roaches to defend. He has queens as well to transfuse once they have enough energy. I don't think EnDerr can find a way in, so he does turn around. Meanwhile, GogojOey still wants that hatchery. Mate, is he gonna get it? Oh!
There's nothing in position, the hatchery!
The drones!
Will fall. These Lynx will go down, but already it's well worth it for GogojOey. EnDerr, now he's sort of second-guessing himself a little bit. He's like, my third went down, I need to hit now, but I can't hit now because I don't have the units, I don't have the upgrades.
Yeah, EnDerr's in a really rough place. Losing that third base was huge because now the lair is still on the way, the upgrades are still on the way, he doesn't have roach speed, like a counterattack is not going to do anything here. And he just has to stay at home, and we'll see what he does. Like, he's taking his 4th gas. I wouldn't be opposed to, like, a Spire or some other tech to get thrown down.
He's already in position for it. There we go. Just waiting for that lair.
Yep.
But even still, GogojOey is setting up his avenues of attack. +1 range is on the way. Did he get roach speed?
Lair's just finishing up here for GogojOey, so I imagine roach speed is going to be on the way. Again, EnDerr just has to buy time for his mutas, for his Spire. GogojOey, can he try and hit a roach timing before that happens?
I feel like it's possible, depending on whether or not EnDerr continues to produce roaches here, or if he decides to save some gas for his mutas. Speaking of save gas and mutas, GogojOey will, or should anyway, get the scout on that Spire. I'm not quite sure if the roach Lynx were in range.
Yeah, he saw it. He saw it. A couple of Lynx did get into the mineral line, so the Spire has been scouted. He also picked off a couple of roaches. He will force a reaction from EnDerr here to try and go for a counterattack, but there are roaches at home. What's important is that GogojOey did scout that Spire.
Yeah. What's not as important, but still nice, he's catching off a couple of roaches.
Yeah.
While they're isolated.
Oof.
Anything you can really do to weaken EnDerr.
And now we're in a scary moment here. EnDerr has 7 mutas on the way, but as soon as roach speed finishes, mate, GogojOey, he's gonna pull the trigger. He's gonna go across the map.
Yeah. He doesn't even care about making spore crawlers because he knows the game is over either way.
Yeah, and EnDerr doesn't have any spines. There's no stack defense. There aren't a mass amount of queens like GogojOey has. Goes for a bit of a link run by. Oh, God.
Banelings will chase him away. I guess it's nice that EnDerr was able to keep a couple of roaches back home with that run by, but is it going to be enough? Oh, the Lynx come in from the back.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a surround, a fantastic surround actually, before GogojOey has +1 range.
Oh my god, that surround was huge. On top of that, GogojOey's army was split up as well. He didn't have everything consolidated, so EnDerr basically just fought half the army of GogojOey, and he dominates it, mate.
This is why we call him El Conquistador, mate, because he understands more than anyone else in this region anyway, how to take an engagement when behind.
Exactly. That was beautifully done there by EnDerr, and because of that, he takes down both armies of GogojOey. GogojOey still has an army supply lead, but not enough to really abuse that. And now, EnDerr, he has map control.
He does. I think you touched on something kind of important there. For as amazing as that engagement was for EnDerr, GogojOey is still ahead on the army, on the workers. He realizes, oh, I haven't won the game yet. I'm gonna get some spore crawlers now.
Yeah.
To deal with the mutas, just in case.
Yeah, I mean the spores are finishing up. They're on the way. More are being thrown down. GogojOey, he's looking to try and stay on roaches a little bit longer. His answer here is to try and harass with burrowed roaches.
Which again, just keep EnDerr down for as long as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, this tells me that he's going to try and turtle up here, maybe throw down an infestation pit, maybe try and get a hive up and running. But EnDerr, he can do so much with the time that he's given. Like, that muta count is getting higher and higher.
Yeah, eventually it's going to get to the point where they can just ignore the spore crawlers, assuming that there aren't any queens nearby. But yeah, to a point where he can ignore the spore crawlers and just completely decimate GogojOey's worker count.
Yeah.
And he's catching up on the economy!
He really is. If EnDerr wanted to, he could probably get a 4th base as well. Mutas come in, no queens in position. The spore is going to get picked off.
Spore, another queen, another spore. A bunch of mineral lines too, I imagine. Or a bunch of drones as well, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. 4 drones go down, and now, okay, a couple of mutas do get picked off, but that was a nice move there by EnDerr to find a weak point in the defenses of GogojOey.
I was just trying to find another one. I like the idea of trying to draw out the queens by attacking with that paltry force of roaches, but at that point GogojOey just had a lot of supply to spare.
Yeah, and EnDerr saw Overseer's on the way, mate. There will be some detection. There's still an opportunity for these roaches to deal some damage, but they need to desperately. And the Overseer, turn around. Oh.
Yeah, it's getting in position. There is another Overseer there. And there we have it. Unfortunately, this gambit has not paid off for GogojOey. EnDerr gets a 4th base, which... Did anyone expect a 4th base to be thrown down at the start of the series,
I didn't.
But we're getting in game number 1, so... Yeah. Pleasant surprise.
Exactly. I mean, now EnDerr, he has got the 4th base up and running. He's going in once again with his entire army. Oh my god, he's committing to this fight.
Which I'm not sure if he should. There are a lot of queens. The Mutalist is still standing strong.
Yeah.
His ground army is starting to really thin out. The Mutas, though, they've dealt with the queens.
Yeah, like, the spores were protecting the bases, but they were not here in between the bases because there weren't any spores. The Mutas reign supreme. Every single queen goes down. The roaches that were going for a counterattack, they come back home. And now there are no queens to transfuse the spores.
There aren't... A bit of a costly engagement on both ends, but as you were saying, getting rid of all those queens, in the long run, that helps out EnDerr a lot more. GogojOey going for a counterattack now. These mutas are just going to chip away at the forces while they can, and honestly, I don't see EnDerr... I can't see EnDerr having much difficulty on the defense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these roaches are going to do nothing. They are all being hunted down left and right. Even if he did lose a couple of drones here, like, he can afford to lose drones because he's up on bases. He's got the worker, or he's about to have the worker lead as well. The only thing going GogojOey's way is the fact that the infestation pit just finished. Infestors are on the way.
Yeah, and that's one way for him to really catch up. If he can get a fungal on the mutas, that would be huge. If he can bile those mutas while they're fungled, that would be almost as big as Gabe. But not quite.
Almost, mate.
Almost, yeah.
I think that's just a pipe dream, though. I don't see that happening. Like, especially
you can
because
never get as big as Gabe.
and especially because the pathogen glands isn't done. So these infestors, they need time to gather energy. They're not going to come out with enough energy for a fungal.
Yeah, best case scenario, he'll be able to have one infestor survive long enough to have a fungal, but is one fungal going to be enough? Roach Warren gets taken out too, and now
oh god,
are infestors and lings. Oh, the Overseer does get sniped.
It does get sniped, but at the cost of 4 infestors, only 2 survive in the end, and the mutas just overwhelm everything anyway. The queens go down, the spores go down. even if
Straight
these
up
infestors could
apocalypse,
throw
yeah.
down one fungal, it's not going to be enough.
Plus, I mean, there's always a possibility that you just kill the infestors as they pop out to throw down their fungals. Like so. Oh, one fungal. But again, the Ravagers were dealt with. No anti-air.
Yeah, no follow
All of those mutas are in the red, but not quite dead. GG is called. EnDerr takes game number 1, absolutely living up to his name of Caviar Napoleon. Maquise Acamparo. I mean, winning those engagements despite being so far behind.
Yeah.
That's just Napoleonic.
I mean, we saw the moment that EnDerr won that game was when he had that roach fight when he came in with the surround with the Lings. Like, that was beautiful. That is exactly what EnDerr needed. He was down heavily in supply. GogojOey was going to go for the killing move, but his army was just dispersed all over the place. Like, he had 2 major forces, and they needed to be together, and they were not. And GogojOey capitalized on that, shut everything down, and then that was EnDerr's game from there.
That was EnDerr's game.
Yeah. Oh god. Bit of a fun fact on that. Back in the day when the movie came out, did you know that EnDerr's game actually sponsored some StarCraft tournaments?
Oh.
Yeah, that was unfortunately EnDerr wasn't a part of it, but he should have been.
Wait, what's the story behind that though?
Root Gaming got a sponsorship for EnDerr's game. It was EnDerr's game on Blu-ray. They were, yeah. So like they spoke. They like during the cast they did like a review of the movie as well. Like it was Cats casting with Destiny, Cats and Destiny casting.
Ken,
it was a lot of fun.
Oh mate, we need to get that to happen. We need to rope Steel into that. But then again, that could be bad because Steel doesn't like new movies.
I mean, EnDerr's game wasn't a great movie. It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book, but it's not a
it?
great movie. Yeah, I recommend it. It's good.
Alright.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard of EnDerr's game, right? It is like
Yeah. Is that the one? No. Yeah. I know of. See, in my mind though, it melts together with Maze Runner because I think those two movies came out around the same time, and they're both like, in that YA science fiction genre. So it's like, yeah, no, they kind of melt together in my brain.
I understand why, because it's like, oh yeah, the era of books turning into movies, like Hunger Games and all that stuff. But they are very different.
I thought Hunger Games started the trend, so
they did. EnDerr's game did come out.
That's why Hunger Games will always stick out.
Sure. I mean, let's be real. Twilight started it. I mean. Oh boy.
Well, Twilight is also like more fantasy and like, you know.
And if you really want to go back, Harry Potter started it all. So there you go. But yeah, mate, game 2.
Game 2, and I know it's going to take us on Romanticide, but regardless, that's where we are, Romanticide. LE, and in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player coming out for the land of Hong Kong, the best player from Hong Kong, and usually a favorite to make it all the way to the finals. But now he's up against someone giving him a lot of trouble. He's been doing very well against his historic rival, that being Miomaika, but he might not even be able to face Miomaika in those grand finals. Everybody give him your energy if you want to see that ace match. He is representing himself, unfortunately. GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player. He is red, representing himself as well. But up in the series, it is EnDerr.
That's a very quick third.
Mate, he's the only one who does this. It's crazy. He did this last week as well, I'm pretty sure, and we freaked out. It's 3 hatch before pool, mate.
He does this pretty consistently on Romanticide, and I mean, he does it every... It feels like he does it every other ZvZ. And you know what?
Go on.
Sometimes his opponents see that and they just crumble. They're like, he's a madman. I have no idea. I can't deal with this, you know.
Exactly. I mean, if I recall last week, I think he did this against me or Micah. I think it was in the
I
finals.
think he did it against Demi as well once.
Yeah.
Once.
He did it against 2 Zerg players. One time it worked and the other time it didn't. I recall. But oh my god, a GogojOey is going for a fast lair.
I can't keep up, Light. There's a weird triangle. Does any of the... Do any of these players know what a macro build order is?
Oh,
well, I guess EnDerr does, but it's a very non-standard macro build order.
Exactly. So a couple of things are going on. One, GogojOey scouts. He sees the 3 hatch before a pool opening, so he goes for his own 3rd base. He's taking the rest of his gases because of this opener from EnDerr. Initially, obviously, he's not going to be aggressive. He's focusing on droning. Obviously, there's potential for like a Ling Flood, but his gases were delayed, so GogojOey is safe enough to pull this off. And I'm really curious to see what is going to come from this lair.
Come on, Nidus. There's Baneling Nest being thrown down.
Yeah, there is a Baneling Nest. I feel like a
Nidus
safety Baneling Nest. There's no Roche Warren.
Nidus Banes?
There it is.
Lair. Spire. I don't know why I'm mixing up Lair and Spire today. I guess it's just... It's synonymous, really, when it comes to these players. You know, they get a Lair, they're gonna get a Spire.
We've seen a lot of Spires today. We've seen a lot of Spires, cancelled Spires, unscouted, scouted. It's been crazy. Oh, boy.
Scouted and then cancelled, scouted and then not cancelled, but your opponent reacts as if it was cancelled anyway.
It was great. It's been beautiful. It's been a beautiful day of StarCraft, and it's going to get even better. Especially because EnDerr is going for his own lair. He also doesn't have any other tech buildings. Like, we could... There's a world out there where we see Muta versus Muta.
The world is this one. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, the gases, there we go. All 4 gases have been taken. EnDerr, he didn't scout the lair, but he did scout both gases at the natural, which is very sus, especially without a Roach Warren in the wall. So he can deduce that it could be a Spire opener as well.
I'm hoping that's the case for EnDerr, yeah. And I do like that he is making a couple more links here to try to sneak in, just to confirm that he knows what GogojOey is going for. He sees the lair, should see the Spire too, and it is too late to cancel now, GogojOey.
Yep. Exactly. Meanwhile, GogojOey is being a little bit cheeky. We do have a couple of Banelings being morphed in at the same time. Ling Flood towards a 3rd base. EnDerr is popping up.
Man, EnDerr's just everywhere right now.
He is. It looks like the Banelings in the main base are going to be scouted, but the 3rd base is going down. EnDerr, he's having some revenge here.
Yeah, it doesn't quite matter if the Banelings don't pop off. Ooh, barely makes it out of there. Does lose a couple of links, but the important part is that he already dealt the damage. Actually, he's doing a lot more damage. Snipes some of those Banelings, and 8 drones go down. I guess Banelings stuck in to the natural?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that did happen as those drones did go down. Mutas have been revealed, and there is the Spire from EnDerr. It is a little bit late, I must admit. I think he could have gotten it a little bit earlier, but he was focusing a little bit on that harassment instead. And now he has a choice to make. He can try and catch up in the Muta count, which can be difficult, or he could just be crazy and just go straight into Corruptors, which would be crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it might as well at this point, considering how delayed his Spire is.
True.
Does have anti-air, so yeah, the Mutas of GogojOey should be threatening him too much. He should, I don't know, maybe be expecting a switch from GogojOey into something a bit more ground-based. I mean, he's now getting his Ling speed, so he at least wants to get some Ling Bane out.
Yeah, again, like, they are a great complement to the Spire. Meanwhile, that Spire is actually exposed. That Spore is really far back, and oh, these Mutas, they do find some drone kills. Ay. Oh god. It hurts to watch
Mutas go in, Mutas jump out. Yeah, it does. Even as a Terran player, 5 drones go down. GogojOey's still a little bit behind, as, you know, he lost that 3rd base, but still.
And again, the Spire was out of position as... the Spore was out of position as well. Another gas is going to be taken out. These Queens are off of creep, so it's going to take them a long time to respond. GogojOey is doing a really good job at finding damage with these Mutas, despite, you know, losing that 3rd. Speaking of...
Could lose it again.
Where the Banelings are
back. The Banelings ain't here.
Mate,
but there are a lot of Mutas.
Yeah, with no Banelings, honestly, EnDerr could right click on this base, especially because he has plus on melee, but he opts not to. He does back off.
Yeah, I think, honestly, maybe a bit of a safer option would be to try to sneak some banelings into the mineral line instead.
Yeah.
If he so desired, at least a natural mineral line.
Yeah, exactly. So he will have these banelings, these lings to morph into banelings. We'll go for another run by later on. Meanwhile, interesting choice. So one, he gets +1 flyer armor carapace, which is the correct move when you are behind with the mutas. And he's not just going mutas, he wants to go infester as well.
Interesting. So pulling a bit of a GogojOey, but a lot quicker than GogojOey did in game number 1.
Oh yeah, yeah. The other plus side is that he actually does have the economy to sustain this, and never mind, I spoke too soon. He's not going for infestors. Still a spellcaster, but it looks like he wants to go into vipers.
It'd be crazy if he just doesn't go into spellcasters at all.
Oh yeah, that would be insane. He needs one of them.
He's like, you know what? You're focusing so much on mutas, I'm gonna grab an Ultra Cavern! He has +1 melee.
I mean, who is this, Miyamika?
He might as well.
Miyamika is wise, you know, maybe it would be good to take some pointers from him. Oh boy. What's important though is that these mutas actually come back home to deal with the lings. So they are being distracted right now. EnDerr once again sneaking off a couple of lings to morph into banelings, but there we go, morphing into banelings to waddle in.
I don't think EnDerr knows about these. I don't think EnDerr knows about those lings. Uh-oh. Once again, he doesn't have baneling speed, but still.
Yeah, they're done. They're morphed in. Uh-oh.
And they're going behind the line.
Please, he's not responding,
Oh, just like that, 9 drones got taken out, as do all of those lings. GogojOey now turning back as a... And that feels like a knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, something? And it's like, oh yeah, banelings.
Yeah. The mutas, they weren't able to respond in time, and now EnDerr is able to deal back that damage. You know, we saw him lose drone after drone towards the muta harass, but the Ling Bane harass from EnDerr is a little bit better. And now enough time has passed where the hive is finished and vipers are coming out.
I actually am a little disappointed that it's not an Ultra Cavern.
Like, I wanted the Ultras.
Yeah, you know? It's just mutas and a corruptor out, you know?
God. I thought you wanted EnDerr to win.
The Vipers are. Well, I won our ace match.
True. Fair, very fair. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the units tab. Of course, GogojOey does have the muta lead right now. It's what we would expect. He does have the upgrade lead on top of that, or for now. But the Vipers, they're gathering that energy. They're getting ready.
Oh, the mutas are about to be in dead air too. So no matter what, they should be taking at least one parasitic bomb. How well can GogojOey split? No, the Vipers are so exposed! One parabomb lands though.
Mate, and what is all you need? All the mutas are going down! Oh my god!
Look at how red they are! And they're chasing all of this back. He can send everything he's got across the map. What does GogojOey realistically have to threaten this? He's getting some Hydras out, and that might about do it, but these are going to be unupgraded Hydras, too.
Exactly. They don't have range, they don't have speed, they don't have +1, they have nothing. And there are no spores either. Like, GogojOey, like, sorry, EnDerr, you gotta go now.
They're getting a little bit sidetracked over in that 4th base, but at least he cleans out that mineral line. He's dealing with all of the anti-air here by the natural base. The rest of the Hydras come in a little too late, and the Queens have no energy to transfuse. EnDerr, it looks like he's just about done it. GG is called. EnDerr takes that series 2-0, and once again is going to a grand finals against Miyamika.
Hey.
His parents absolutely knew what they were doing when they named him Caviar Napoleon. My god, this man understands tactics.
Exactly, well played. The baneling run-bys, the constant ling run-bys, again, +1 melee for those lings really did pay off. And taking up straight into those Vipers. He didn't want to waste any time with infestors. He knew parasitic bombs were what he needed, and a little bit of misjudgment there by GogojOey. We saw him. He tried to dive on those Vipers, right? Yeah. Hoping that they didn't have enough energy, but they just barely got some in time for a single parabomb.
Yeah. See, the problem is both Miyamika and Demi are very, very, very confident in their muta control, so they don't get Vipers, and so GogojOey isn't used to playing against a player who has Mutas and Vipers. EnDerr, on the other hand, he's like, yeah, no. Let me just be safe here.
Yeah, that was just really well done there by EnDerr, and there we go. For the first time in a long time, as it's always, you know, a little bit odd whenever it happens. It's against the norm, against the grain. We don't have a Miyamika versus GogojOey finals.
Oh, Zeph, you got shortchanged here. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, she did get one Miyamika versus
She got one, yeah, but that was a best of 3. Well, at least it was a best of 3 that went to the ace match, you know. And a very good ace match at that.
It was.
So, yeah, I don't know if you're disappointed or excited about that, Zeph.
Regardless, I'm excited for this grand finals. Congratulations, EnDerr. He moves on. He takes down one of the Zerg Muta triangle. But the Grand Platypus Open, the Pelican himself is waiting for him in the finals.
That he is.